Farm for Profit Podcast. Take a listen, have a blast. Farm for Profit Podcast. Learn about farming while having a laugh. Farm for Profit Podcast.
Listeners, welcome back to the Farm for Profit Podcast. This is Tanner.
This is Corey.
And this is David.
You couldn't see me because of Dave, but I got to see a whole lot of Dave.
No one wants to see you anyway. I heard it yesterday from a guy was telling Dave how good he was at asking questions.
Oh, I did.
And Rachel asked him, "Who's your favorite host?" He couldn't come up with a favorite, but he's like, "I hate Tanner."
He's like, this goes too deep.
He's just too analytical.
Oh, man. I had three little super fans come over and have a nice conversation with me while you guys were talking to the John Deere guys. That was a lot of fun, and I think I was their favorite. And if I wasn't before then, I am now.
That's why we got to have three, because we're not for everybody.
We are not for everybody. And none of us are for Rachel. She's for sure let us know about that on this trip. But no, listeners, we thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. Remember, farmforprofitllc@gmail.com. Or you can send us text messages, 515-207-9640. Text us about birthdays and parties.
Oh, we're going to do that now, birthdays.
Sure.
Okay.
They're supposed to bring us food to the Progress Show here, too.
Oh, that's right.
The Progress.
That's right.
Or not the Progress Show.
National Farm Machinery
National Farm Machinery Show.
And we like guest suggestions. We've been getting some good ones of those.
This is a good guest suggestion.
Right. We've had a lot of questions about how young farmers can get in agriculture. So we love interacting with you. So keep those messages coming. Absolutely love those. But I think I've stalled long enough.
Let's do it.
Ready to jump into our guests for today?
We're doing no music?
No music.
Okay, that's fine. Today on the Farm for Fun show, we are at the Brandt booth at National Farm Machinery Show. We meet up with a man that came highly recommended from the tractor pulling world. You may also recognize him from one of the most edgiest and most entertaining John Deere dealership accounts on all social media. There are a 3-store dealership out of Hillsboro, Mauston, and Reedsburg, Wisconsin. Please welcome from Wisconsin, Don Slama.
Yeah. Wow. Boy, I got to get a bigger headset.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I'm glad you guys asked me to come down here.
Yeah. So you came all the way down just for this, right?
Absolutely not. We come down here to pull tractors.
That's right. That's right.
How many years have you been pulling tractors down here?
20 years. This is 20 years we've been down here.
20 years.
And did you go last night? Did you have a run?
No, we pulled tonight.
Oh, pulled tonight.
Yeah.
Well, good luck.
Yeah, we're going to need it. We've never got the golden ring. We've never won the finals. We've been in the finals many times. We've won the preliminaries, but the tractor pulling god doesn't look good down on us very good to win the big deal.
Well, what are you missing?
What? Going the farthest.
Going the farthest.
Going the furthest.
Tell us about the tractor a little bit before we dump into your background.
Where have you guys been?
We just got back from the Custom Harvesters event where operators from across the country couldn't stop talking about Steinbauer performance modules.
Yeah, they're seeing up to 25% more power, better fuel efficiency, all with smarter injector duration and not altering the rail pressure for safe and reliable performance.
If you're looking to maximize your machine's potential, go to steinbauer.us and tell them Farm for Profit sent you to get yours today.
Well, we got a tractor called Fast and Furious. We named it that because I like the movie.
Oh, okay.
And it's 7810 sheet metal on it. Notice I said sheet metal. It doesn't have plastic. It has sheet metal.
Yeah.
It's got starts out with in our class we pull the super farm class. We have to have a factory block. We have to have the factory casting in the rear end.
Okay.
And everybody runs a 3x3 Charger. So it's kind of like a restrictor plate if you watch NASCAR.
Yeah.
We're limited. 640 cubic inch. Making right around, for this deal down here, 1680 to 1700 horse.
Nice.
When we pull with PPL, that's who we pull with in the summertime, we can run an intercooler, and that adds another 125 horse to it.
Okay. Wow.
So he just added your tractor, Dave, to his tractor when he runs the PPL.
I know. That's crazy.
It's a really fun sport. You get to meet a lot of nice people.
Yep.
Of course, the farming world is full of nice people.
Yeah.
There's only 2%, not nice people.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah, there's always some bad actors.
Oh yeah, right.
So don't you have to be invited to this? So you've
Oh
been
yeah,
invited for 20 years?
Yeah, this
here?
is a big deal. This is like going to the Super Bowl in the tractor pulling world. Yeah, you have to send a application in, and God, I don't know how many applications they get. It's tons of them.
Yeah.
And they pick the people that they want to have come down.
And you've gotten picked for all 20
Yeah,
years.
it's kind of cool.
That's an accomplishment in itself.
Yeah. I'm either really good at kissing on ass, or we do a pretty good job of pulling.
Oh, we do a pretty good job of pulling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably a little of both.
There you go.
It's got to be a perfect combination of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. You know, I always say tractor pulling's the most fun you can have with your clothes on.
There you go.
And it's
I don't know. Podcasting's pretty fun too.
is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It can be.
Well,
it
that's-
can be.
We haven't
It cannot be fun.
We've
too.
never done it with our clothes off, so we don't know.
That's good.
That's
good.
Jesus. What a start to the morning.
So let's rewind and go back to
Well,
Little Don.
First, got to say we got like 18 people that wanted us to say hi to you. We know Ryan Rusink wants us to say hi.
Yep.
He was the first guy that laid your name out there. I think there's been 4 or 5 text listeners
Yep.
that have sent in that really love what you do
Yep.
and have wanted to say hi. And then we're supposed to call you an a-hole from the Elsings, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got to be one to know one.
we got to have supper with those guys on Tuesday. So that was-
Okay, yeah, they're good people. They're just down the road from us. They live in Prairie du Sac. They're about 40 miles from us.
They just got the wrong color of equipment.
Well, they're slow learners. They
Yeah.
really are.
All right, I got some of that out of the way. We'll get maybe some more of those by the end of the show. Go ahead,
Absolutely.
Corey.
Yeah. Let's wind back to Little Don. Where did you grow up in Wisconsin and on a farm?
No, I was born and raised in I was born in Reedsburg, Wisconsin, and I was raised in Hillsboro.
Okay.
Fast forward fast backward, I guess would be a better way of saying it. In 1948, there was a couple brother-in-laws that were building a new John Deere store in Hillsboro, Wisconsin. They owned one in Mauston and they owned one in Waniwak.
Okay.
And my dad was a plumber. He was a farm kid, and he was a plumber and electrician. And he was putting in the plumbing and the wiring in this new building. And he never left.
Huh?
They hired him.
Really?
Yeah, so he was a technician, and then he turned into a salesman, and that the shop was my playground. That's where I grew up. I can remember being my dad putting a torch in my hand, go down there in an iron pile and learn how to run a torch.
Yeah.
So I cutting junk up, that,
Yep.
and so in 1968, one of the partners wanted to retire, and they had a son. One of the guys had a son, and my dad and him bought the one partner out.
Okay.
And then in 73, we built a new building out to Hillsboro, and I graduated in 70, and I started selling stuff, when I was, junior in high school,
Okay.
and I just gravitated towards the sales end of it. We're also an industrial dealer. We were the first industrial dealer in the state of Wisconsin, and my dad sold that stuff. I sold the ag stuff, and just went from there. And then in '86, my dad wanted to retire, and the partner wanted out, so my wife and I bought it. Worst time of the world to buy an implement dealership,
Yep.
And we went from doing a couple $1 million in '86 to 3 years later doing $9 million. So we just went from there.
Wow.
Awesome.
We've got some really good people that work for us, and always have had. I get to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I'm a really good delegator. If you work
I'm
for
a really
me,
good delegate.
Yeah.
if you work for me, you do it. Just run it like it's your own. You know that.
Right.
And that's a kind of secret that you talk about this crazy stuff on the internet. That's all my daughter.
Yeah.
Sally does a tremendous job with that, and it's basically put us on the map.
It
You know?
absolutely have. I've talked to Sally for probably a year now, and love talking to her. She actually had some buckles made for us or something for your tractor pull, and she was supposed to bring them down, but she couldn't. She couldn't make it with the
Yeah,
flight.
she got
Snowed
in, you
Yeah.
know, so she was really pissed that she couldn't come.
Yeah. She was
And,
texting me last night.
yeah,
and apologized.
so-
Like, oh, don't worry about it, as long as Dawn's here.
Well,
As long as Dawn's
yeah,
here.
she said, that, you know, you're the big deal, and I said, well, you know, when you live in a town of 1,300, you can either be a really big deal or a really little deal, you know, all the same time.
Yep.
So, but
So you're 2 locations, and you're building a third. Is that what you said?
no, we've got the Hillsborough location, we have the Reedsburg location, and we had the Mauston location.
Okay.
Which we bought that in '96.
Okay.
It was an old Ford car dealership.
Okay.
We call it the ghetto. It
the
is
ghetto.
really bad. So we're building a new $4.5 million facility right on the interstate. So we're going to have a lot of exposure,
Okay.
and we're looking really forward to doing that.
Okay.
That's good.
So are you the smallest dealer that Deere has?
I wouldn't say we're the smallest,
Store
but
location-wise?
we're right in that category.
The
yes.
location-wise?
Yeah. Hillsborough's in Driftless area in Wisconsin. That's where the glacier come through and took all the good topsoil away and left all the junk. You know that. It's really scenic. It's really good looking. It attracts people to come and live there, retire there. It's terrible to make a living farming there.
Yeah. It's terrible to make a living.
You know, we've got farmers that are. My dad sold a 62.
Yeah.
That are still, let's see, that'd be the 3rd generation guy still milking 50 cows.
Huh.
Running probably the 60 that my dad sold him yet.
Yeah.
And right next door to him, there's an Amish, because we got a lot of Amish that are moving in.
Yep.
Yep.
And right next door to them is one of our grain customers that are farming a couple thousand acres.
Right.
You know, so it's very diversified.
Yep.
And we're quite fortunate to have it that way.
Yep.
You said in industry too. Do you have a lot of industrial? Are you selling yellow iron too?
No, we in 90, I believe it was 96, 98, Deere decided that they didn't need us anymore.
Gotcha.
And they put 3 dealers in the state and eliminated a bunch of industrial dealers. We still work on a lot of stuff. I still buy a lot of used yellow iron and sell it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, every farmer needs a skid loader, right?
Oh, they
You know
got we can sell new skid
can-
loaders. They call that the what the hell do they call that? There's a contract for that light utility.
Okay.
Okay, and we can sell that and the little end loaders and all that. But
Yep.
you know, we got a lot of customers buy 544s and like that
Okay.
for the feed mills and
So, I mean, most other John Deere dealers have seemed to consolidated and gotten bigger. How have you survived that push from John Deere?
it's our area.
It's just your area.
We got a niche market there. I think Deere realizes that, or I hope Deere realizes that they need us there.
Yeah.
You know, we're very service oriented, and we always have been. You know, we're supposed to open up at 7 in the morning. There's always somebody there at 6.
Yep. Yep.
You know, you're supposed to close at 5 o'clock. There's always somebody there till 6:30.
Yep.
Everybody that works for us has got a key. Everybody that works for us has got a company cell phone. You know, if you don't want to talk to me, you can call your favorite technician. You know, it's all about service. And
It's cool that you've built a team to do that, because I feel like some of our listeners have written in and talked to us in person on multiple occasions that said, you know, it's hard to find help that's willing to work past 5. It's hard to find help that's willing to stick with me all harvest, run from sun up to sundown, or even past it. It's just a struggle anymore these days.
Well, I think the secret to our success is that if you work for us, you feel you're part of the family. You know, that you're important, you know. You can come in and tell me, hey, we're not doing this right. We need to change this, you know. And if you're a technician out there, you know better about it than I do. You know, the parts guy knows better than what I do, you know. It's just a big family deal. And we also, you know, we've got 3 father and son teams working for us.
Oh, wow.
We had 3 members of one family working for us. The father, he just retired. We have very little turnover. And I got two kids now that have worked for me since they've been freshmen. One's going to graduate this year. One's going to graduate next year. And as soon as they walk across the stage, they got a job.
Wow.
And we ask them what they want to do. One wants to be a technician in the combine shop. One wants to be one in a service shop. And we'll marry them with one of our other technicians, and they're their mentor.
Get an education.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So as you're building your new place, I'm curious. People ask me all the time, when's enough's enough with the business? Hey, you're making a good living. As you get older, why buy the next location? Why buy the next building?
Because it's fun.
Okay, awesome. Love the answer.
100%. Yeah, I got a grandson. Sally's got 2 boys, and James has got a boy, and then I got two granddaughters, and my the youngest grandson. Somebody says, "When's Grandpa going to retire?"
Yeah,
he's not. He's going to die at his desk talking on the phone. And that's kind of the way we want to do it.
Yeah, I like it.
And we've been fortunate enough that John Deere has let Sally come into the business, so we got some future there. My son James, he runs our farming operation, and also the pulling end of it. We got an entity called Slama Enterprises that we build pulling tractors and dyno motors, and we can handle 4,000 horse on a dyno. That's kind of fun.
Yep.
Holy smokes.
We blew the ass out of a turbo here the other day getting ready for this place. Thank God it was the exhaust wheel instead of the intake wheel.
Did you get it on camera?
No.
Probably no cameras allowed in that
Oh,
building.
yeah, there is, but he forgot to turn it on.
Oh, man. One thing that's cool that I've seen you guys do, and I don't know if any other dealers do, but I've seen you guys restore old tractors.
Oh, yeah, that's a fun deal.
Normally, you got to go find someone out in the country that has a shop that just specializes in that.
We got a fellow, Brad Renish is his name. He's been with us again. He's just he started out as an 18-year-old kid with us, and I think he's been there 25, 28 years now.
Yep.
And he likes working on all this 2-cylinder junk. And we got a 730 in there right now and it belongs to a customer of ours that's a Chevrolet dealer, and he likes really nice stuff. And this one's not going to get restored looks-wise because it's really nice looking 730 original.
And it's work clothes.
Yeah, but I know he's going to have close to 50 grand in that by the time he gets done.
Oof.
But everything is new in it, and that's just the way you wanted
wild.
it. Yeah. And there's a resurgent. We got customers that got a 4430 that I might have sold their grandpa back in the 70s, and they want to redo that tractor. A lot of people in our area like the old stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And that's it's just a unique area is what it boils down to.
What's the best John Deere tractor you've ever sold, or that you think is the best John Deere tractor?
I like the stuff, the 30 series, because that's what I sold.
Yep.
I started out selling them. I really liked them. That was a new generation.
Yep.
Had the sound guard cab on it. Had quad range transmission. We could finally compete with the Red Boys with a TA amplifier. It was quiet. And at the time, they thought it was a lot of money. I remember I sold a 4230, the first one we ever sold to the Lang brothers. They run Deutsch stuff.
Okay.
Wisconsin's notoriously known. If there's any tractor sold or made, it's sold in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And these guys had Deutsches.
Yeah.
And I sold them this 4230, and I come back, and it was like $16,000 in 1973. They had an 8-track tape player. Now, I don't think the guys even owned an 8-track tape, but they wanted an 8-track tape player in it. And I remember I come back, and I told my dad, I said, here, look, I sold this 4230. And he looked at that, and he said, I hope you got some money down. Because
that's funny.
It was a lot of money back then, but now, you don't buy a 1025R for 25,000. You know.
No.
Do you,
no.
do you remember, Corey, back to 2 years ago when we were here and that gal that had the trash?
Yeah, and they came right by every time we recorded.
Every time?
Yeah.
I think we heard that trash guy when he was 4 aisles over.
That was some loud wheels.
Coming over this direction.
There's a vendor right down the road that has some like soft wheels that might make that thing sound
or some
he
spray
had
or
a sound
something.
guard cab on that thing.
So, Don, another welcome that we were asked to pass along to you was from previous guest, two-time guest, Ryan Kelly. He got to come and do an interview in one of your shops.
Yeah.
And you were talking about the 30 Series having the sound guard cab and how nice that was back when you first started selling them. But I'm pretty sure you've got a collection that don't have any cabs on them.
Oh yeah, open station ones.
Yep.
Yeah, and I just told you the first one we sold had this sound guard, but then about 98% of the rest of them were all open station because, you know, they were used to picking corn out there with a new idea picker in the cold, and you got to remember a cab was probably, god dang,
50s, 60s.
No, it was probably $1,700 for a cab.
Oh,
And, geez, I ain't going to spend $1,700 for a cab, you know. We actually sold some cabs without air conditioning in them.
Yeah.
You know, that was the stupidest thing anybody ever did. It was like being in a hot box in the summer.
You see the doors all
Take the
open.
$25 option and put the AC in it.
Yeah. But so then we put year-round cabs on them, and then it eventually did that. I had a shed full of fenders and decks from when we took the cabs off. I don't throw nothing away. We save everything, and I did take them to an auction. You know, some auction guy come and twisted my arm and said, "Hey, I'm going to get you rich on this. You're going to get $50 a piece for these." You know that.
Yeah.
So, but wish we had them back. But yeah, Ryan's a good guy. He
You hesitated.
well, I had to say this political correct, you know, because, you know, I have my favorite and it's green, you know, but he bounces around everything, you know.
Right.
That. But
I think he leans green.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I would imagine if we walked into his shed, he was what we call a rainbow farmer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way,
Yeah.
but he's probably had a bit of every color that was there.
Yep.
You know that.
Yeah.
And,
Put it to work.
Yeah. And
I think there's a lot of dairy families that were in that same mindset.
right.
I need something that works. I need it to be economical, and I need it to be reliable.
I always tell my new salesmen, when you go in a guy's shed, and go in the shed before you go into anything else, because you can kind of gauge the guy, you know. And if he's got a vast array of different brand of equipment, he's not brand loyal.
Yeah.
And if he's got all John Deere, let's say, and there's 7 different stickers on it, he's not dealer loyal.
Dealer loyal.
And then if you go in there and he's got one dealer that he's dealing with, that's the kind of customer we want. You know that? 'Cause
And you find one of those out of 100.
Longevity. Yep.
I've
well,
always
there-
wondered that because we actually went somewhere else from our local dealer because we had such a good deal and brought a tractor into Iowa from Nebraska. And it does seem like we're not the first, or sometimes we're the last to get through the special and all that on that one tractor. But heck, we're still buying all the parts from them and giving them all the
Sure.
service business,
Yeah.
right?
That's
They just didn't have the tractor we wanted at that
Sure.
time.
Do you think the internet's leveled the playing field on that to where guys find different equipment farther away than they did from just their local dealer as the advent of being able to find it elsewhere?
Oh yeah, the internet has really, from a dealer standpoint, has helped to move equipment. It's also hurt to sell equipment because they shop you more.
Shop you more.
Yeah. But you know that's just the way of the world.
Yep.
So,
Gotta keep you honest.
but
Keep you
yeah, yeah. You know we run on such a big profit margin anyway. So
This guy who sold us our steak last night as we went out to eat says, "I got a special. It's not even on the menu. It's $130 for this steak." And we're looking. It's the same one that's on the menu. He just jacked the
It was
price.
$72 steak on the menu, but it was a special off-menu item, $130.
Off menu.
He looked at us and thought it said "sucker" across the forehead.
you guys didn't bite, huh?
No, we didn't.
No.
Nope.
You said farmland earlier. You didn't say that when you were younger. You said your dad was a farm boy. Was that your dad's farmland, or did you end up acquiring some ground?
So we were. we were down here tractor pulling, and I had a bunch of money stuck in the bank to buy this other dealership. We were going to buy
thought
another.
the margins weren't that good.
Well,
It was all his
See how
tractor
I
pull
walked
win-
him into that?
It was all his tractor pulling winnings.
yeah, that's right. We made all this money tractor pulling. So I get a call, and we're approved to buy this dealership, and I get a call from my branch manager and said, hey, that deal ain't going to go through. I said, what do you mean? You got us all approved and all that? And he said, well, there's another dealer that slipped in and bought it. So we were, I can remember we were my boy and I, James, we were walking around, and I went over in the corner like over there, and I come back and I said, God dang, we got screwed out of this dealership. And he said, I never really wanted to be a John Deere dealer anyway. And I said, well, what do you want to do? And he said, I think I want a grain farm. So.
And we know the area is perfect for grain farming.
Oh, absolutely. We have nothing but highly erodible land. We was doing no-till before it was cool.
Yeah.
And went back home and took that money that we had set aside, and we bought a bunch of farmland.
Heck yeah.
At the time, you could buy farmland for $850 to $1,000 an acre.
Wow.
Now you got to remember that half of it's full of wood trees.
Still.
Yeah.
What? Okay, so perspective, what's it go for now up there?
I just sold some the other day that I bought for a sand pit. Okay, because we had, and I got almost 13 grand an acre for that.
Wow.
But it was for a special for the sand
use.
pit.
Yep.
I'd got the permit from it years ago and kept it open. Normally, it's $7,000 to $8,000.
Okay.
All right.
But still, so it's
And what's
appreciated.
driving that is we got a big influx of Amish coming in.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and they got a lot of money.
Yeah, they got old money coming from wherever they're moving from.
Yep.
They don't necessarily buy fancy things either.
No, and they can
Fancy ones.
they can farm a 15, 20 acre patch,
Yeah.
clear a few trees off and raise some vegetables on it, make a living, and
Yep.
so we've got the Amish, we got I call them the normal farmers, and then we got the weekenders, the guys that come up and buy 20 acres and plunk a house on it and
Yeah.
buy a compact
little deer hunting.
and deer hunting. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a good deal. We took the bulldozer and excavator, and we actually have a couple 150 acre fields.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah,
So do you get out on the tractor and farm much?
I did. I used to.
Yeah.
I get in their way now, so
Yeah.
I just.
So that's James's operation.
Yeah, that's James's operation. We got Zach Brender and another Cole Mortimer that work for us there. We got a grain facility that we got 400,000 bushel we can we can handle.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we're set up pretty decent.
Yeah. I imagine having that farm gave you access to go actually put all John Deere's technologies and tractors to use.
Oh, it made us. But I can remember when we first started out, we were running 6620 side hills.
Yep.
And we were doing beans, and we always worked after shop hours.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And James was in high school, so we was just farming like a weekender,
Yeah.
And it was going to snow that night, and a belt broke on this combine. So I get in the truck and go back to the store, and we ain't got the belt.
Oh, of course.
And you're cussing your dealer.
Yeah. So before this, I could never understand why a customer would come in and get pissed when we didn't have the part. Because, in a John Deere world, if you order it today, 98% of the time we're going to have it in the morning.
Yep.
Right.
So the light bulb come on in my head. I can see why these guys get mad, because it snowed that night, and then we couldn't cut the beans,
Yeah.
So after that, I went to our parts manager and I said, I want every belt, every goddamn bearing, everything there is for these combines. And we followed that through. We have in our parts deal, we have the best fill rate of any dealer in the state of Wisconsin.
Oh, cool.
I was going to ask
So-
if you'd come to Iowa and talk to our dealer.
Yeah. And it costs a lot of money to
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
but you know,
Inventory is inventory.
yes, but so that made us a better dealer. Yeah, we on the technology end of it, we've run that. Deere has come miles ahead of what they used to have.
Oh, yeah.
We used to have, we're all hills on the north side. When you got the GPS wouldn't work,
Yeah.
and it's everything has got better. We got a picture. We run two 12-row planters with 82, what do we got, 8230s. And we got them all auto steer and all that. And here's the two tractors, steering wheel flipped up. James and Zach are planting there. And right across the fence is an Amish with a 999 John Deere planter. Now, you guys have no idea what a 999
Nope.
planter
No.
is. That's a planter out of the 30s.
Oh, jeez.
With the circle boxes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. With 4 horses pulling this.
Is that a check wire planter?
Yeah, yes, it was.
Okay.
Check wire.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. And here's these 24 rows being planted, and here's this 2 rows planted, and that's the kind of area that we got. That's pretty phenomenal.
You got parts for that?
What's that?
You got parts for that 999?
I think I got a couple of them in the junkyard. they're probably the parts they're wanting.
They're
There's
in
gonna be-
town. They're
Yeah.
flower pots now.
Yeah, I was going to say. I lost the lid. Doggone it. I ain't
So do you think
Yeah.
that, you use John Deere ops to see how much fuel you used per acre? Could you see how many hay bales they used per acre for them horses?
How tempting would that be for James just to pull into that field drive and say, hey, let me finish this up for you real fast?
I don't think that happened. Because they're probably farming like 2 acres. You know
Yeah.
that?
Drop the planter, turn around.
Yeah, get out of there.
It does
back
make
out.
you think what's going through their head when they see that planter roll by.
Well, I'll bet you he's thinking, my cost of production is a hell of a lot less than them guys.
Yeah.
Farmers, you do it all. So should your technology. Level up your equipment with the latest innovations from Ag Leader.
From sure force downforce control and sure speed high accuracy planting to right spot individual nozzle control, Ag Leader has you covered.
And now, with the new In Command Go displays, you get unparalleled visibility and control, keeping critical information at your fingertips. Upgrade today and reap the benefits this season.
Visit agleader.com or contact your local Ag Leader dealer to get started.
You know that?
Yeah.
But there's still, and if you come into our dealership, we got a lot of old memorabilia.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of old posters and that. And in Dave's office, I got a 227 picker on a 60, and they're showing a cutaway of the corn going through the picker,
Yeah.
And the stalks are about as big as my little finger,
Yeah.
And they're about 2 foot apart,
Yeah.
Must have been all of 60 bushel corn.
Yeah.
And that's what the Amish are still raising around us.
Yep.
You know
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
And we took the technology when some of these farms that we bought, we started out with probably a good 80 acres, 80 bushel average. I ain't kidding you.
Yeah.
Then you just build it up, and now we probably maxed it out at what we're raising now. We got an average of 187, and just in the world that we live in, that's about all it's going to get.
I see.
We have absolutely no topsoil.
I mean, that's not bad. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot of averages, APHs, that are in even in Iowa,
Yeah.
in God's country, what everyone says for dirt. I mean, there's a lot of averages around there.
So we're happy with
Yeah.
that. But
I think you need to go in there with a pulling tractor. See what the Amish think of that.
Have
Hook
a
it up,
planter-
boys.
have a
Hook
platter.
it up. Hook it up.
High speed planter, see how fast this thing can go.
Put it on a Brandt speed disc.
Yeah.
we have this pulling shop, we call it, and we also run our farming operation out of that. It's a 27,000 square foot building that the city of Hillsborough had. In Vietnam War, they rented out to an outfit that made combat boots, and then after the war, they tried a couple other things and it just didn't work, so it sat vacant. And I was buying some pallet racking they had in there, and I went down there, and the city administrator said, you should buy this thing. I said, yeah, you bet. And we were talking about building a new shop out on a farm. So I was going to Illinois to an auction the next day, and I got thinking, God dang, it's heated, it's all electric, it's all cement. I called him up and I said, what do you want for it? And he said, make me an offer. Well, I give him
that's dangerous territory.
Yes, it is. So they took the offer.
Yeah.
The only thing he asked me, he said, the council wants to know what you're going to do with it.
Of
I
course.
said, just tell them it's not illegal.
Just tell them. That's a good answer. That's a real good answer.
Go ahead.
So it's right in this little industrial park Hillsboro's got. It's a little baby deal. But when we're dynoing, we shoot the smoke just like here at Broadbent. You can see the smoke coming up, and you'll go uptown and they say, "Oh, you guys are working today, huh, James? Who's James dynoing today?" You know that. So
I heard it's got a nice neon sign out front of it.
yeah, I really love neon. That's just old school technology again, and nothing looks better in the dark than neon except a girl.
There
I
is
love
some
it.
nostalgia to the neons. Speaking of Hillsboro, that's when I started talking to Sally. Was you guys do a Hillsboro charity tractor pull?
Yes.
Talk about that.
Well, we've got, and as any community, you've always got somebody that's sick or somebody that lost their house or was in a car wreck or something, and we're always getting pimped for. We got the Dave benefit this weekend. What can you donate? That.
Yep.
And so we still do that, but so we started this tractor pull. Of course, we like it. It brings tons of people into Hillsboro, all the church groups, the school. It's all local organizations that do it. The Lions Club. Sally started a 501c, and every year we're able to give between $30,000 and $50,000 to this 501c that gives out. We
Delivers out to
yeah,
everyone.
we've got a seven group, I should say, man, because there's some ladies in it that pick who. Nobody gets turned down, but they pick how much money you get.
I gotcha.
So they have an application process.
Yeah,
and a board that decides.
we set them up, and we don't even, the Slamas don't even pay attention to it.
Nice.
They just, when they need more money, we send them more money.
And that's every year. Is that in July?
It's in August.
August.
First full weekend in August. So,
Okay.
and it's one of the biggest events that PPL has got.
Yeah.
PPL is a professional pulling organization that we run with. This year was kind of unique. I come back from Jerseyville and from Joliet, Illinois. It was a two-day pull, and it was just storming something terrible. And I come into Hillsboro about 4 a.m, and I noticed when I went through Laval, the fire trucks were out. Went through Waniwak, the fire trucks are out, and I thought, they're just storm searching.
Yep.
And I go through Hillsboro, fire trucks are out. So I put the truck in the shed, and going home, I call one of my guys that's on the fire department. I said, what was going on today? And he said, we had 2 house fires.
Oh.
Waniwak had one, and we had one. And how'd they do? He said, we lost them both. I said, anybody got hurt? Nope, nobody got hurt. Okay. So fast forward to the tractor pull, and I told that the tractor pulling family is really good, really generous. And we always have this drivers meeting. We feed 450 people at this drivers meeting, and I'm always pimping them for money,
Yeah.
Well, they come up with. We had an auction, and we had an American flag that a lady donated on a wood deal. It's kind of a wavy deal, and we auctioned it off. It brought almost $30,000, and if you was the first guy that bid on it, you won it. You said, "Yeah, I want it. Let's go to the next guy." And they kept putting it down. So we raised $30,000. That's in addition to what we give away.
Okay.
And we were going to split it up between these 2 families. And the one family, I went to them and told them what we're doing. He said, I'm pretty covered on insurance. He said, I'm going to be all right. He said, give the other family the whole deal.
Yeah.
So that's small town
very
America.
cool.
That
you
is.
know that?
That is
Yeah.
very cool.
That's also where your no cab open station tractors get to play is at this tractor pull.
Oh yeah, and they're unrestored. You know, they're what we call in their original clothes. In fact, the one that James drives is the first 4230 that we ever had on a farm.
Huh.
I bought that from Johnson Tractor. They're an Case International dealer in Janesville. Leo and I know each other, and he got that, and we that run a 6-row planter for many years.
Huh.
Nice.
Yeah, I've seen, obviously seen videos of the pull and watched it online, and that always seems like it'd be a really fun job to be the track master.
Oh, yeah.
At a pull, especially after you do it 45 times and you're really good at it, and you watch the guys that just stand on the brake and whip it right around and hit the spot.
Yep.
Well, we've got the same group of guys that was on the original track crew is on the same track crew that James has today.
Huh.
That's wild.
And we've been doing this. Hillsboro's. Had this. I think this is 20 years for that too. And I brought those guys down. Barbell was terrific at that time because they were all young. You know, they watched Danny Christiani here, and he orchestrates it really cool too. You know.
Yep.
And they do it outdoors just like Danny does it indoors.
I see.
And
I tell you what, I don't attend a ton of tractor pulls, but I can see where that makes the difference. The faster you can get hooked up and send another one down the track,
well,
the
you
more
know,
entertaining it is.
as a customer, I call the guys the spectators customers because they're paying to get in.
Yep.
Tractor pull can really be boring. I ain't shitting you. You know, it's if it things.
Yeah.
It's got to move. People's attention span's only good for about 3 hours.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, so if you can keep it moving, it's James's goal, and he always makes it happen. We got a tractor going down the track about every 3 minutes, and we run 2 tracks. You know, so
Most people listen to podcasts, their attention span's only about 40 minutes. So.
is it really? Okay. Well,
No. Yesterday, guys were saying they're too short.
They're too short. Need to be longer. Need to be longer.
Yep.
And others are like, they're too long.
You got to have gas in your tank, right? That you're
Yeah.
famous for that.
yeah, I got asked to go back to my high school and give a talk to some seniors.
Okay.
And you notice it was a one-time deal.
It was a one-time.
One time.
Yeah, well, when I went to school, all I wanted to do was be a John Deere guy.
Yep.
And I remember walking across that stage, and the best grade I ever got was probably a D+, because I didn't care.
That was your favorite tractor also.
Yeah, that's right. So when I sat down, I just opened that diploma, and it was signed. I didn't care. I did my deal.
Yep.
So this guidance counselor really liked me. I spent a lot of time in her office anyway.
Yeah.
And I probably spent more time in the principal's office. But that was a deal. So she said, could you come and talk to these seniors? And they were adding on to our high school at that time. So I go into the old typing classroom, and I said, hey, guys, get up here and look out this window. I said, what's going on down here? They're building a building. Yeah. I said, you see them guys? I said, every one of them laborers here make more than the teachers do.
Yeah.
I said, they're out there in the sunlight. It's a nice day out. I said, if you're a mason and there's one drop of rain, you get to go home.
Yeah.
You know?
Painter's lunch.
And so we're talking, and I said, whatever you guys do, you got to have gas. And John Deere is great for these adonyms, you know.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what gas stands for? And they said, no, we don't really know. I said, give a shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, if you're going to go, all you're ever going to do is work at McDonald's, be the best burger flipper they got.
Yeah.
If you're going to be a doctor, be the best doctor they got. But and that's how we've given through that. And as I got one of the kids that, he's my parts manager now, was in that class. And I think there was 15 or 16 kids in that deal. They've all come back to me and said, you know, the one thing that we remember from high school was the gas speech.
There you go.
And it was probably a little more rougher than I just explained it
yeah,
here.
sure.
You know that? But
Yeah.
but it was we live and die by that.
Yep.
You got to care.
Can't have ass stuff. Full ass.
Right. That's what sometimes Corey's work is.
Full ass.
Full ass. Well, I think that goes a lot to be said with the listeners that we have. There's a reason they choose to listen to Farm for Profit. It can be fun, right? We've had some laughs, but
Sure.
they show up, listen to 2 shows a week, and sometimes it's about accounting.
Mm-hmm.
That's not exciting, but if you give a shit,
Yeah.
it's extremely important.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many. Farming's such a tough gig.
It is.
And you can't say it's a tough gig now. It's always been a tough gig.
Yep.
The farmers are the dirt.
Yep.
You don't get any lower than the farmer. Then there's the businesses that deal with the farmer is just a little bit above that.
Yeah.
And then you got all the other shit stacked on top of it that decide everything.
Yeah.
So we've all got to be. You got to just be sharp at everything that you do. And if you're not sharp, you hire somebody that is sharp to help you.
Right.
You hear that, Rachel?
She's not listening.
She's not paying attention.
Evidently, Rachel's not too sharp.
Oh, no, she's sharp. She is sharp. She's just not listening.
She's sharp.
She's going to walk away.
She's not going to walk away because she already found someone else was nicer to her than we were, apparently.
So when Sally started shoving a cell phone camera in your face to start doing social media, were you on board right away?
I thought it's the dumbest thing you could possibly do.
That's what I thought you might say.
Yeah. I said, God, Sally, you're wasting a lot of time doing this. She said, it's a thing of the future, Dad. And she was right.
Yeah.
It's really, like I said, put us on the map.
It's you guys can tell it's helped your business.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
When we did that interview with was it Ryan?
Ryan.
Yeah.
We did after that we did a stupid thing with we had a 70-30 Alice there.
Yeah.
And so he said, you give me what's good about this and what's good and what's bad about it. Well, there ain't much you can say good about an Alice 70-30, except it was an open station.
Yeah, fair enough.
But when he was doing that, he scanned our used tractor line, and we had a 7810 sitting there.
Yeah.
The next day, this true story, a guy from Montana called up and bought that tractor because he's seen it while he scanned our deal.
Yeah.
Since then, he's bought a round baler, a used round baler, and a couple of his neighbors have bought some used equipment from us.
Wow.
No way.
Oh, yeah. So just that scan, that we didn't even plan.
Sally, we're going to have to get some B-roll of your lot and put this up when our show goes out and see if we can beat Ryan's sales.
Yeah. And then we got Tim Tim was a customer of ours. He's our wash boy, and he really likes doing commercials. We pick on Tim terrible hard, Tim has got that. When he was farming, you'd go there and you might as well figure you're going to spend half the morning because Tim all he wanted to do is talk.
Yeah.
And to this day, we try to get everybody not to talk to Tim but he's a great asset to us, and he does some good stuff. And we got all our guys kind of want to be involved in the video now.
Yeah.
They'll give a shit.
Yeah, that's right. And some of it's really strange. What we think is going to be cool hits the wall.
Yep.
Yep. And
the stupidest stuff takes off.
we do them cold starts.
Oh yeah.
And
people love those.
And we catch all that shit about, you're going to hurt the motor and all that shit. Well, do you realize to start a pro stock tractor, you probably use 12 cans of ether.
Yeah.
We're maybe holding it for 15 seconds.
Yeah.
We ain't hurting that thing at all. But you get all I call them, and I'm probably going to piss somebody off, but these keyboard players, that know more about it than anybody else.
Oh,
what do you do in Wisconsin when it's 30 below? You got to pump a little ether in it. Yeah. You're going to start. You know that.
You guys need a tagline. Have you heard? Like the WTF?
Yeah.
Stands for what the, right?
Yeah.
Well, WTS could be watch this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Start your videos that way. Yeah. WTS, boys.
Yeah.
Start the video. Watch this shit.
Speaking of that, ether and starting your pulling tractor, do you have a favorite pull-in memory? I mean, 20 years is a lot to draw from. I get that. But do you have a favorite?
I got two favorites. One was when we first started out pulling, we had built a hot farm tractor before we did this, but I knew I wanted to get into the national circuit. And so James always run this hot farm, I run it too. And we'd been running a super farm for probably half the summer, and I let him drive it up to Mauston for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And he pulled, and there was 3 other guys that had a pull-off. And he got done pulling, and I walked over to him, and he won. And for those of you who got kids, there's things you remember about your kids. Well, I looked up at him, and I said, James, how was it? He said, Dad, this thing is fast. It's really goddamn fast,
Yeah.
So I remember that.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Then we had a pull at Hillsboro. And I'd been pulling at Hillsboro since we always had a farm pull there every Labor Day. Never won at all at home. And
It's always the hardest one to win.
it is, yeah. And we started this belt buckle deal out. And that year, I won Friday night and I won Saturday night. And I thought way outside the box and moved the sled and all that. And sometimes you're a hero, sometimes you're a zero, you know. And that's probably the two things that stick in my mind the best. Now, if Tyler would happen to get in the finals here, that'd be number 3. You know that.
That would be cool.
So you're going to drive and he's driving too?
No, Tyler's driving.
He's going to drive.
Yep. Tori, my granddaughter, she drove it down there last year. She run it out of bounds. And things, we only do 240 feet here. And Vaughn's hitting you so fast here. Things happen much faster than it does outdoors. And she just didn't react fast enough. She knew what she did wrong. Mm-hmm. She was really mad at herself. Hi, Tori. She's over in Europe right now, over to England, doing a semester over there. She's going to be watching tonight. So she's probably listening to this too.
Yeah.
So,
Tori, I feel like, no, we weren't here last year.
No.
Would she have been around 2 years ago also?
yeah, probably so.
I feel like we would have met her because that year we interviewed. Is it Danny? Why am I drawing a blank?
We interviewed several pullers.
Yeah, shoot, the young girl. Obviously, we interviewed the Elsons that year. Daly Paulson.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
She was down here, and I think that I don't know if she introduced us to Tori after the fact. Not live during the recording, but
Sure.
I felt like we met her when we went over to Broadbent.
Yep.
Very cool.
Give me a thought for new Farm for Profit shirts. Get some made, and we could have heroes, and Rachel could be 0.
We got 2 more days of this, Dave. We got to keep her on our good side.
Oh, yeah.
I made her mad yesterday. We don't need her mad 2 days in a row.
She's evidently your Tim.
Oh,
Yeah, she's our Tim.
Tim.
she's better than
There's
Tim.
her nickname, Tim.
Tim. What's up, Tim?
Yeah, there's
Well,
the
hey,
middle
I
finger.
noticed we give you those hats,
Yeah.
and you guys took the stickers off. I think if you look on your back, you have stickers on your back.
Oh, it's
you
gone.
took it
She-
off.
she
Yeah,
found it.
Oh, okay.
That's when she came back over here and
Yeah,
was
she's-
super excited.
She was already mad before we made her mad.
I saw her walking from the corner. It was with authority. Boom, boom, boom. Every step.
She gets that for getting the first pick of the hat.
That's right. First pick of the litter.
Yep. So, well, Don, it's been a pleasure having you here.
Can I make a bad joke?
Yeah, make a bad joke.
What'd you say that town was of the first dealerships that you came across back in the early 70s, or where that house fire was? It's a Wenny Walk.
Wenny-Walk. Yeah.
Wenny Walk.
Yeah.
How do you think they came up with that name?
Sounds Indian.
It is an Indian.
Yeah.
I think it's an Indian name.
Yep.
Really? Like, what, did somebody just take off walking? And they said, well, when he walks, that's where you can find him?
Could be. I don't
You've
know.
had that in your head for 10 minutes?
Like 45.
45.
Oh my God.
Boy, it doesn't take a lot to amuse you, does it?
See, I saved it for the end.
That
It
was
was not
planned.
worth it putting it in the middle.
Did you write it down?
Yeah, I did.
He did.
It's Wenny-Walk. Yeah.
Wenny Walk.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, yes, Don, thank you for coming down and doing this. Even though Sally wasn't here, I think we probably had more fun without her.
Well, she told me to
unfiltered.
make sure I behave myself.
There you
so,
go. We need to do
yeah.
one at
That's
your
not
dealership.
fun.
That'd be fun. get your new dealership up. and
Well, I
going.
mean, Ryan wants us to come up to your Hillsboro tractor.
Yeah, that'd be
pull.
great.
That'd
That'd
be kind of cool.
You guys should come to that.
We need to interview Tim.
Your
Sounds like
camera's
fun.
black there, Rachel.
Yeah.
Tim would be. Oh, Rachel lost the camera. Way to go.
Way to go.
That's all right. We'll do it on this one.
We will.
Yep.
We'll
so
be good.
thanks, Don, and good luck tonight at the tractor pulls. Hope you
Yep.
win.
You bet. Well,
And,
thanks for having us.
I
Appreciate it.
say, crack a cold one. You deserve it.